Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Sally Pinto and I'm from the Yonkers Newark Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We launched back in January of 2020 and we're here to serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We have lots of fun programs and activities, and we also have a lot of resources for you as well. Our programs include meditation chair yoga, body mind fitness, bingo, and any other programs that you might be interested, like arts and gardening. We have our resource specialist, Alexa Smith, who can help you with finding services and activities out there for you, as well as our nurse, Barbara Simone, who can help answer your health-related questions. We're here for you, we're here for our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our programs. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexa Smith, the resource specialist with the Yonkers Newark. I'm here to help with application assistance, referrals for home delivered meals, and transportation services will be coming soon. We also offer Zoom activities and Zoom programs. And if you have any other questions or concerns, I'm here to help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Welcome. I'm Barbara Simone, registered nurse. I recently retired from Westchester County's Health Department as a public health nurse. I am now here to try to assist you with any medical or preventive care issues. Enjoy this program, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
On that. And then once you have that, we're just gonna start actually laying on our stomach today. So have the pillow nearby. And then when you first come to lay on your stomach, you can kind of make a pillow with the hands, or you can like bend your knees and maybe rock your hips a little bit from side to side, especially if you've been sitting or walking around all day. You're welcome to bring the forehead towards the mat, or you can always bring one ear to the mat. I'm gonna keep my head lifted just so that you can hear me talk. And then even when you first get there, you might kind of wiggle around a little bit. We rarely, if ever, start yoga classes laying on our stomach. We're usually seated or laying on our backs. So just taking a few moments too to just settle into the difference. So just starting class today with a different perspective than we usually do. So even as you start to settle in, you might even notice your breath a little bit quicker, because you can actually feel your belly rise and press into the floor. And then feel your belly sink closer to the floor as you exhale. If you're just coming on, just as you come to lay on your stomach, just make sure that you have like a pillow or a blanket, or if you have a bolster at home, that's great. If not, no worries. I'm just using my throw pillow for my couch today. And just have it nearby as you come to lay down. If you turn one cheek to the mat, just go ahead and bring the other cheek to the mat. Feeling your breath just moving throughout your body. You're welcome to keep your cheek to the mat, or you can always make a pillow with the hands and just bring your forehead to your hands, or just bend into your knees. So let the feet float up to the sky. And just begin to gently rock the knees from side to side. Or it's more the feet are moving more. And then you can let the legs extend and lengthen back on the floor. And you'll start to bring your right knee, I'm just moving my left so you can see it, out to the side. So I'm letting the inside of my leg come onto the floor, and then my knee is about in line with my hip. I can keep a pillow with the hands, or if it feels okay to add a little twist in my neck, I can look over my left shoulder. So coming into this half frog position. If you need a little less, you can always pull the knee in a little bit more. And you can even lift the torso up a little bit. And just to add some support, you can always kind of throw that pillow underneath your belly. So almost like this is like how I sleep, like almost like you're gonna go to sleep here. And this is just a modification if it's too much to be flat on your belly and have that knee go all the way out to the side. And then of course, if you need a little bit more, you can always feel like as if you're trying to press the knee a little bit further away from the body. So in our yin practice, we are looking for like that Goldilocks spot. So not too much and not too little, just that sweet spot that you can hold for a little bit longer. Where you can still keep your focus on your breath. And also a place where you can just allow your body to sink into it. And just let gravity take over. As we continue to hold, maybe your Goldilocks spot shifts. So maybe you go a little bit deeper. Maybe you've gone a little too far. Yeah, so if you're just hopping on, just slowly make your way onto your mat. Try to have like a pillow or a blanket nearby. We'll use it at some point for extra support. But we're starting on our belly. And our right knee is out to the side in this half frog position. Let's find our final 3 rounds of breath here. And after your 3rd round of breath, just nice and slow, start to extend your right leg back to meet your left. And just pausing with both legs straight out behind you for a moment. Take a full round of breath here. And then let's find that half frog on the other side. So let your left knee come out to the side. So it might feel a little bit different from left to right. Always just kind of coming into it and then taking a pause. And then just begin to find your Goldilocks spot. So if you need to come out of it a little bit, take it a little less. You can even roll a little bit to your right side. And if you want a little more, feel as if you're trying to actually actively press the knee away from the body. Coming to a place where you can breathe, where you can settle in. And if you turned your head, maybe you turn your head in the other direction. You're not trying to keep the whole lower body down. If you're looking at me, I'm just lifted so that you can hear me and I'm not muffled. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. Just finding your last 3 rounds of breath here on this side. After that 3rd round of breath, you'll start to bring your left leg back to meet your right. Perhaps just pausing for a moment. You can bend into the knees and rock the feet a little bit from side to side. We'll take this next transition nice and slow. So really slow motion. You'll bring your hands underneath your shoulders and just bring yourself up into a tabletop position. So if you need extra padding underneath your knees, we are going to stay on our knees for a few moments. You can always slide a blanket underneath. But just take a few rounds of breath, moving however you want to. So I like some cat-cows here, kind of just moving my spine, especially after being on my belly. Can always just rock the hips from side to side. Always letting your breath be your guide. And we'll begin to take this into a child's pose. So definitely recommend reaching for your pillow or blanket. And there's 2 places we can place it. If it's challenging today to sit your hips back closer to your heels, you can always take that pillow or blanket or sweatshirt behind your knees. So that way you've got just a little bit of extra height. And then maybe just drop onto your forearms here. Or if the legs are doing good, but you just know we're going to be here for a little bit, and you want a little lift in the chest, you can bring the pillow or the blanket underneath your head or your torso. Now, it doesn't matter if your hips are at your heels. It doesn't matter if your head is on the ground. I just want you to find a place that creates a shape like of child's pose. So some flexion in the hips, flexion in the knees, and a place where your body can begin to soften. where your breath can move freely. Where your jaw can relax. And the muscles in your face can relax. Where you can let go anywhere you might be gripping. And just allow yourself to be. Knowing that it's okay if at any point you need to lessen the shape or deepen the shape. Consistently checking in with your body and your breath as we hold. Let's find our final 3 rounds of breath here. final third breath. Start to bring just the tiniest bit of movement in, just enough for you to pull yourself out of your child's pose. And gently slide your prop out of the way. Come into a tabletop position. You're welcome to move between a couple of cat-cows. Maybe even extending the leg back, just releasing the front of the hip. And we'll transition onto our bottoms. So you can always sit on your pillow or your blanket for a little bit of added support. But you'll begin to find butterfly legs. So bring the soles of the feet together so that the knees are wide. So once again, we're changing positions. So we were face down for the first half of class, and now you're upright. You might notice things around you in your spaces. So I invite you to keep your eyes closed or your gaze soft. And just take a moment and sit the spine up nice and tall. And as you do that, notice that all the parts of your body want to come with you, and see if you can just roll the shoulders down and back a little bit. You can stay right here or just start to lean a little forward, really feeling a hinge at the hips. It doesn't matter where your feet are. They can be far away from you. They can be a little bit closer to you. It can be more of a square or a diamond shape with the legs. And when you find a spot where you can't go any more forward, which you will find it, take like half a step back and then release the head and the neck. And that's where you'll pause. If it feels okay on the back of the neck, you can let the head get really heavy here. Or you can always just keep your gaze a little bit ahead of your toes. So you're just keeping your neck in a more neutral position. Moving nice and slow and intentional with every adjustment. As we continue to hold, just take a moment to check in. Do you have some space to go a little deeper? Has your Goldilocks spot changed? Make the adjustment you need if you need one. If you feel your body wanting to sink deeper, try not to resist that from happening. If it happens, it may come up in some poses, it may not. Let's find our final breath here in our butterfly. Again, always moving in that nice slow motion, a nice slow rewind as you lift your upper body up. Bring your hands gently behind you and just extend your legs out in front of you. Option to wiggle them, or maybe just extending the knees is enough right now. But we'll keep the legs straight and maybe just take our legs a little bit wider. So we're just coming into a wide-legged position. It doesn't matter how wide your wide is. And again, sit up nice and tall. So instead of folding forward like we did in our butterfly, we'll just start to turn our torso towards our right leg. So this might change how wide you take your wide. So you can bring your right hand to the outside of the right leg, your left hand to the inside of your right leg. Really grow tall through the spine and really feel as if you're trying to wring out the spine gently here. You are welcome to stay right here. If you would like to take it a little deeper, you'll start to fold over your right leg. And again, at a certain point, your body's gonna be like, that's as far as I wanna go today. So then I encourage you to actually take like a little step back from that. So that spot that your body tells you to stop is the too hot Goldilocks. So we wanna back it up just a little bit to find that just right. And just like we did in butterfly, you can release the back of the neck, or you're welcome to keep the neck more neutral and just keep the gaze towards the toes. It can be easy to feel as if you're trying to keep the legs active here. So just check in. Always bringing yourself back to your breath. Allowing gravity to keep you in the pose. Just taking your final round breath here, final inhale and final exhale. Your head was dropped, just slowly start to lift it up. If your torso was leaning towards the legs, slowly start to walk the hands back in and lift it up. And that final unwind will be rewinding the twist, bringing the spine back to neutral. Then let's make our way right over to the other side. So start to turn towards your left leg. So again, feel a little bit of that rinsing out of the spine. Your sides will likely be pretty different here. So always just being kind as you move in. Again, you can stay right here or start to lean a little towards the left leg. You can relax the head or keep the gaze towards your toes. And if you feel like your twist just couldn't go as much on one side, I know for me, this side's a little bit tighter. Your torso doesn't have to be directly over the leg. I'm just kind of encouraging my heart in the direction of my toes. As always, as we continue to hold, if you feel like you've created a little bit more space, don't be afraid to bring yourself a little bit deeper. Or if you're resisting too much, to bring yourself back a little bit. Last few rounds of breath here, just a little while longer. Last breath here. And so if your head was heavy, just rewind one body part at a time. Lift your head up. If you're hinging at the hips, just slowly lift yourself up. And that final piece is untwisting the spine. You can take your hands behind you. Bend your knees so the feet are on the floor and just gently rock the knees from side to side. And we'll come to lay all the way on our backs. So we've been in all different directions today. We started on our belly, and we were seated, and now we're facing the sky. So allow your feet to come onto the floor. And this is the first time our back is connected with the floor today. So just take a few moments to kind of just feel that full support. And walk your feet as wide as the mat. Or if you don't have a mat, just a little bit wider than your hips. And bring your arms out into a T. They can even be in cactus arms or football field arms, whatever analogy works for you. So just feeling that expansion across the chest. You've kind of been focused on closing it off the majority of class. So let's just take this last few poses to open it up. And as you windshield wiper your knees from side to side, you'll allow the knees to drop all the way over to the right. So the knees might come towards the floor. You can always use your pillow or blanket underneath your right knee or thigh. You can use blocks too if you have a block nearby, or even a book works is perfect. If that left knee coming in, anything going on in the actual knee, you can always play with where the foot is. So you can always bring it a little closer to the right foot, move it a little bit away. And if you really can't find that sweet spot with the left knee and you're just feeling major discomfort and maybe even a little bit of pain in the left knee, I want you to just keep the knee pointing up to the sky. I don't want you to internally rotate the leg. And even sometimes just planting the foot on the floor and just letting the knee just fall a little bit to the right gives you that little bit of internal rotation, but without hurting our knee joint. So lots of options, lots of ways to support yourself, and really just listen to your body here is the number one. Always coming back to your breath. might find that if you had your left foot on the floor, that you can let the side of the foot come to the floor. Maybe if you had a pillow underneath your right leg, you can play with pulling it out a little bit so the knees can get just a little bit heavier here for these last few moments in this shape. Final breath here. So let's just start to walk that left foot in so the foot can come onto the floor. And then use that knee pointing up to the sky to allow the right knee to come up. Find a little bit of that windshield wiper here. And we'll come into the other side right away. So maybe 1 or 2 windshield wipers. And then let the knees drop over to the left. So know that you have all of those same options here. Add a pillow underneath the left leg. Check in with the knee on the right. You can keep your arms out into a T or cactus. Last couple rounds of breath here. And maybe for these last couple rounds, you can adjust the props. Maybe take them a little further away from you. Allow your body to sink deep into it. Deeper into it. After your next breath, just allow the knees to come back up to the sky. You're welcome to rock a little bit to rinse it out. And hug your knees into your chest. Just give yourself a little squeeze. And start to make your way into your final Shavasana. So you can always use your blanket or pillow underneath the legs for added support there. There's always the option to take Shavasana laying on your side. If being on your back for more than a few minutes is just too much today. And you're also always welcome to take it seated. Yeah, so just finding a place where you can take these last few minutes of class in complete and total gratitude for your practice today. Shavasana. And just starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And in your own way, in your own time, starting to bring yourself up into a seated position. Bringing your hands into your heart center, gently bow your head. Thanking yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.